You're building the empire
and we'll help you protect it.
because even the most powerful women
Still have trust issues.
Hey, welcome back to Trust Issues, the podcast where we are, you've been building your empire and we want to help you protect it. I am one of your hosts, Erica Hall, owner of Wealth Advisors.
And I am attorney Urenia Ricks-Johnson of Ricks & Associates. And we are so glad to be here today to talk about another expansion on, is it the big beautiful bill? What do you think it is?
So beautiful.
What do you? Okay, all right.
I don't know if it's so beautiful, but we're gonna break it down.
We're gonna break it down today
as much as we can in every little area. Today, thank you. We're gonna focus on retirement.
Okay.
Retirement planning, and retirement isn't just for those who are getting ready to retire in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 years, but there's some key things that are in this bill that can help you prepare for it. So we're gonna break that down today.
That's good, and I know this is your wheelhouse, right?
Look, you see the smile on my face. You see the smile on my face.
Yes.
So my thing is, I have always taken this position of, okay, I may not be super rich. I may not be. Not yet. Right? I do consider myself wealthy because it's not, remember we defined it, and I consider that access to whatever you need whenever you need it.
Yes.
Yeah. However, I think that it behooves us to know this law was passed. So we should know what's in it.
We should.
And it's a number of different components. There are a number of different areas it's going to affect. So we should break it down and know how it's going to affect different areas of our lives. Today I want to talk about retirement planning. There's a retirement window when you're getting ready to retire. This bill is going to do something really special for those who are looking to do Roth conversions or let's see, 401k conversions into a Roth, or you want to start doing a Roth. But if you are 65, or you know someone who's 65 and older, listen up today.
Listen. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about, first of all, let's define some terms. When you say Roth, we're referring to an IRA, right? So tell us about what's the difference between a Roth and a traditional IRA. What's the difference?
Yeah, so IRA stands for Individual Retirement Account.
Okay.
Right? This is the government's, it's actually a tax code.
Okay.
This is the government's account that they set up for you, the individual, where you can have funds that are growing tax deferred. You put the money in after tax.
Okay.
And if you do put the money in after tax, you might qualify for a tax deduction when you file your taxes. But the money grows tax deferred. Actually, I call it sending it forth to your future self.
Sending it forth. That's a good way to think about it.
Sending it forth to your future self.
Sending money to my future self. Okay.
Yes. And
makes sense.
And the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA is the Roth, you put money in after tax. However, and it grows tax deferred. The biggest difference between the two is when the money comes out of the traditional, you pay taxes on the funds when they come out. You pay taxes at your future tax rate. Okay. Ideally, you're going to be in a lower tax bracket, and the money's you're going to pay less than what you would have earlier, right? When you were in a higher tax bracket. With the Roth, everything comes out tax-free.
Tax-free.
Capital, no capital gains tax, no taxes on the earnings, everything you put in.
So as it grows,
you don't have to
worry
time.
about any taxation on those earnings.
Yeah, and that's a great bucket to have. That's a great compliment. Especially if the majority of your savings is in a Roth,
yes,
right?
That makes sense.
Yeah,
makes sense. Yes.
So I just want to say that can I put a plug here for people who are moving from one company to the next?
Yes, please do.
Because I get this question all the time. The question all the time is, should I roll my money into my new company's retirement plan? I'm going to say no.
Okay, so if you're leaving a company and they're giving you this whole benefits package, you had one previously, but now you're signing on with the new company, what would you advise that person to do if they have, let's say they have $20,000 from their $20,000.
Yeah.
We're just gonna put that out there. $20,000 in their previous account with their previous employer or the employer that they're leaving.
Yes.
And that money is just sitting there, and they're saying, Miss Smith, Miss Jones, you got $20,000. What do you want to do with it?
Yeah. You gonna leave it here, or you gonna? Well, most people, they either have they have the insight to say, okay, I'm gonna get in my new company's plan. I should take my old plan and combine it and roll it into there. I don't see a whole lot of benefits for that, although I don't know all the nuances
details,
of that plan, that administrative custodial documents. However, rule of thumb is that's what these IRAs were created for.
Okay.
These IRAs were created to be your catch-all. When you leave a company, you get to roll that $20,000, $25,000, $50,000, however much it may be. There's no limit on the amount that you can roll over into your IRA.
Okay.
You can roll that money over into your IRA, and now you have 100% control over how that account is managed, invested, what happens inside of that account.
Okay.
What's the difference is you don't have that kind of control inside of your company's plan.
You're right.
Right?
You're right.
You're limited to whatever they offer, whatever they provide. If they say, okay, if you take a loan, or if you have, or we have closed out the trading period, then we're going to block you from making contributions because you took a loan or something like that from your plan.
Okay.
You don't have those kinds of limitations inside of an IRA. And I bring this up because I got a call the other day.
Okay.
Just the other day from a friend who said they were looking to take money out of their company plan. And they're like, I read these documents and it looks like the only thing I can do to take money out is I have to have a hardship.
Right.
A new baby or, medical bills.
Buying a new house.
Yeah, buying a new house, but what I want to invest this money in real estate is what they said. They wanted to invest the money.
So they want to start another investment stream. Okay.
You can't do that. Not with the company plan.
So is it you can't do it, or you can't do it without penalty?
You can't take the money out without taking with it. It doesn't have that's not a qualified withdrawal. So basically, what they were asking for is, can I take this money out and make it a qualified withdrawal? They would have to basically do a loan, and even then. With a loan, they would have to qualify based on the calculations based on that company's whatever numbers they use to calculate what your loan amount can be.
Okay.
There are limitations there. And whatever, it can vary from company to company, from plan to plan. The point is, there's limitations. You don't have 100% complete control over how it's invested, and you may not want to take the money out for it. It's not a hardship.
It's not.
They want to, now I want to do some different type of investing.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And you can't necessarily do that because of what's happening right now.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Okay.
So if you're going to, my advice to individuals, if you're moving from one company to the next, and we know that people are not staying at companies as long as back in the day when it used to be 30 years, 25 years, and those days are gone.
Those guys,
people aren't typically staying at a company. They're leveraging their knowledge, their seasons at in different companies or different industries, but on average it's 5 years, and in 5 years you can get something like $50,000 if there's a company match or what have you. $50,000. So that person that has $20,000, they probably only been there like a year or two, because you can get that in a couple years. So you could roll that $50,000 over into your IRA, go to the next company, get in that plan, get the match, be there 5 years, roll that over into your IRA.
That makes sense.
And now, third company, your third company, you got over $100,000 in your IRA, and you get to direct how those funds are invested.
And that's so important, and to be educated on those things, because a lot of times we just think that, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and just contribute or just roll it over with that company, as opposed to really being educated about what's going to work best for you. So and that's why I'm so glad about today's episode, because I think we get to provide some type of education so people can make informed decisions.
Yeah.
Ultimately it's up to you, but if we can help them to make informed decisions and make hopefully better decisions for them in the future, then I think that we've accomplished some things with this podcast.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
I'll pause right here. Mm-hmm. Ding! Ding! Yeah. We can't hear. You talking too loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
I think we were doing good, though. We did.
Mm-hmm. So let's pick up from, I'm so glad we're doing what you said.
Okay,
go.
All right. So, so I'm so glad we're doing this. I'm so glad that we are making this attempt to educate people so they can make informed decisions.
Yeah.
Concerning if they're leaving their one business to another, or just if they're just thinking about investments in the future, or just right now, making sure they're in the best position, especially with this big, beautiful bill, or this bigger, or whatever we want to call it, this bill that's been passed.
Yeah.
And how it can benefit individuals if they take advantage of what's in it.
Yeah. A play on words or what have you. I know that's a lot of times what some of the lawmakers may do in naming some of these things so that it can be perceived that way. Mm-hmm. But the prudent thing for us to do is to figure out what's in it and how to make it work for us. When there's a lot of changes in the tax code, and in addition to those deductions being made permanent, the deductions being made permanent and the tax brackets being made permanent, there's some strategic things that we can do, because some of those things are going to expire in 2028.
2028, yes.
Yeah, going to expire. So there's some key things that we can do, like so in addition to like moving your retirement account into your individual IRA.
Okay.
Right? Your individual retirement, your 401k, you can move your 403b, you can move your 457 plan, you can roll. All of those are called qualified rollovers.
Okay.
When you move. So, being in different stages in life, we call it your accumulation stage.
Right.
And then when you get into retirement, you go into your income distribution stage.
Correct.
Right? And there are some key things that you want to do to prepare for that. And one of them may be, and you can even consider it before you get there, but one of them may be a Roth conversion.
Okay. So tell us about that. What would a Roth conversion, and who would that benefit?
Well, it could benefit you when you're looking into the future, that future self.
Okay.
I tell people when they take money out of their retirement plan, like, your future self may not appreciate this.
They may not like it, right?
But when you're sending money into your retirement bucket, you are essentially you're putting money that's going to be taxed in the future. Ideally, you're being in a lower tax bracket. So, okay, but maybe you want to build a bucket of money that is non-taxable.
Okay.
And you can start to convert some of those taxable IRA dollars.
Okay.
Right? Into a Roth conversion. And you can do a Roth conversion annually. You can do Roth conversions. And this may be a season where you might want to consider it, considering that if you're 65 or we get the standard deduction, that's going to be raised with the new bill.
Yes, which is great.
I'm going to call it BBB.
Which is a great thing. Raising that standard deduction is a great benefit.
Yeah. So what? $750 individual, $1,500 if you're married, filing jointly. But if you're over 65, married couples could essentially shield $35,000 from taxes federally.
Right.
Right.
And if they shield that, you're saying that they could put that money into the Roth IRA. right?
So we're kind of backdooring. Right, we're kind of backdooring.
Okay.
So you're not actually moving the $35,000 into the Roth, but you're going to. So what happens when you do a Roth conversion? You're taking your 401k or your IRA, you're taking your tax deferred dollars, and you're converting them to a Roth. Converting them to a Roth means that you're pulling them out of the tax deferred status.
Okay.
Paying taxes on them today. Yeah.
Okay.
And then converting them over and then depositing the money into the Roth.
Okay.
How does it make sense for someone who has a higher deduction? Because now when that money comes out of that tax deferred account, it's now added to your taxable income, right? Your adjusted gross income number will change because of however much, whatever amount that may be. But they may work because even if you're 65 or older this year, you get another $6,000.
Wow.
Per person if you're 65.
And that's one of the beautiful things about it, right?
Let me say deduction.
Right,
deduction, you get another $6,000 deduction, and so so that $6,000 deduction they're calling it the Senior Bonus Deduction.
Okay,
that could put you in a position that making a Roth conversion this year, between this year and 2028, because you could do one annually, could put you in the position to have some tax-free income in the future.
Gotcha. So you could really take advantage and pay the taxes on it now, but then you would have the tax deferment or non-taxable actions in the future.
Exactly.
And then you would necessarily advise the potential client as far as for what to do with the money while it's in that Roth, right? Because I know you mentioned before that sometimes with the 401k or with the other things that you don't have autonomy or you don't have that right to kind of do some things with the trading based on what's going on in the market, things of that nature. Tell us how much easier it is if you have a Roth IRA in order to do some transactions that may benefit the funds that are in there.
Oh, yes. Look at my face. I'm so excited about it.
I'm talking your language now, right?
Right. This is, yeah. Now, this is no knock to 401ks and 403bs and 457 plans, right?
Options.
These are great because this is your opportunity with your employer to put money away tax deferred, lower your taxable income, increase it, get the company match, all that. Great. Right. And it's easy. It comes off the top. You don't bring the money home, and so it goes in automatically, and they're great. However, the companies get to choose what they offer inside of those plans. Now, some of them are wide and a wide array of investment options.
Okay.
Still limited. And then some of them are pretty limited where it's maybe just some date targeted funds that's managed based on when you plan to retire. And those are cool too. They're a great place to start.
It is.
Right? They're a great place to start. You're just getting started in your company plan, or you're just starting to save in that company's plan, and you're not retiring until the year 2040, then you can get in the date targeted 2040 fund and get some good returns over that time. But as you grow and you get a little more sophisticated and you want a little more, I love that word, autonomy, control over what you're invested in, or you want, I want this stock and I want to invest in that stock.
Yes, because I'm seeing what's happening right now. I'm seeing where these things are going, and you're paying attention, and you're being more engaged about not missing out on key opportunities, because there are in the market. There are key opportunities for us to get in and maybe get out. There's some things that we can do in order to make this money, these funds work for you during this time.
Yeah.
And that's important to be able to recognize those things. But then, like we talk about, having the autonomy or that flexibility in order to be able to get in without penalty or without the lag in missing the opportunity.
And also, I think the other big thing is just you become more aware. You become more aware and knowledgeable about what you're investing in.
Okay.
Especially for those who start paying attention to the market. They start paying attention to how their portfolio is doing.
Right.
Not those scaredy cats that won't open up their account statements when the news say that.
Right. And they're just like, I don't even want to look at it. I don't want to look at it.
okay. In all fairness, some people do that so they don't make any changes.
And they don't take anybody out.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes that may be a good strategy, right?
Right.
Because if you like looking at it, you like, I want all my money. It's gonna crash.
But I want you to see that after the financial crisis, after the housing market crash, 18 months, the market not only returned what you lost, but it doubled in another 4 years, right? So it's important to bite the bullet, open up those statements, log in and look at your accounts and see what's happening so you can become aware and be knowledgeable.
Yes, that's so important.
The first thing is to get in. Even though you don't understand it, people say, "Well, I can't afford to invest." You can't afford not to invest.
Not to. And it's so important that, we are educated on those things and are making the right decisions when it comes to, like I talked about, missing opportunities. We don't want to miss. There are so many things that are there, and that's why it's so important. Even when I advise my clients on estate planning, like when you were talking about the Roth IRA, and making sure that things are updated and that you have updated beneficiaries on these accounts.
Yeah, that's so important.
It's so important because if God forbid something happens to you and you have these accounts where you've done and put all this money and received a great return on an investment, and then you don't have a beneficiary.
Yeah.
Or you have a beneficiary that has passed away.
Yeah.
Or you have a beneficiary that you didn't want to actually receive it now.
Yeah.
Because you didn't update it. Now that person receives these funds and you had never had any intent on this person receiving it because you just simply didn't update it. So these things can be strategically, when you are doing these things, it's very important that you also making sure that you have an updated estate plan. You have that plan. You have those documents in place. You have that trust in place.
Yeah.
That's always a catch-all to make sure that things are assigned properly. And then that you work with someone like yourself, especially you, in order to make sure that the trust is funded, that IRA, that Roth IRA has a beneficiary on it, because that's important.
Yeah, we do check.
Right,
we do check.
And it's very important. And then making sure that it's the current person that they want to be on there.
Yeah,
right.
We do check, and we make sure that those accounts are properly titled.
Yes,
and that there are beneficiaries on the accounts. But here's the other thing I like about. I want to go back to the Roth because it offers the ability to convert your future taxable, tax deferred, it will be taxable if it's in a traditional IRA. It gives you the ability to convert it into a Roth, where the future distributions, you get tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals.
Yes.
And
okay.
You heard of RMDs?
Yes.
Required minimum distributions?
Yes.
Roths are not subject to RMDs.
Which means that there are no requirements.
Roths are not subject to required minimum distributions. I'm gonna quit using the.
So why is that important? Tell our viewers, listeners, why is that important?
Well, required minimum distributions. Let me slow down. Required minimum distributions are forced withdrawals.
Okay.
You may not be ready to take money out of your retirement account. Like, you have this much invested in the things that you have identified that you want to invest in.
Right.
You selected your investments, and now the tax code says you have to, at age 73 now, 73, and then it's going to go up to age 75 in a few years. You have to take out 6%. You have to take out a percentage of the total amount that you have in your retirement account.
So it's no longer growing, no longer doing that.
And it's
you have to
all
take that.
retirement accounts. You have to take that. You have to take out a certain percentage. So you have to liquidate everything. But if let's say you're holding a certain amount of investment, you got to liquidate that and take a withdrawal. So these are forced withdrawals. But the Roths are not subject to that.
And that's important.
They're not even part of the calculation.
So you don't have to worry about having to take those distributions at the time that's stated. You don't have to worry about someone else deciding when you want to get a distribution and how much distribution you have to take out. It gives a lot of autonomy that we talked about, a lot of control that you can have over your particular plan, your particular return on investment. And that's the reason why those are things are important, because I tell my clients all the time that, we want to these documents give you power. They give you autonomy.
So much
power. Give you, this is
you
your plan.
You want to stay in control.
Yes.
That's why my advice is do not leave that plan at a former employer. Don't even move it to the new employer, but put it in an account where you remain in control. You write the plan documents.
You write it.
Right? You write the rules as to how it's going to be invested, where it's going to be invested, how much it's going to be, and whether or not it's going to be in the market or out the market. You get to write those plan documents. And if you are a young person today and you hear me touting, you hear me saying age 65 and age 73, 75, keep living. You'll be there.
Yes.
But knowing that you will, what do people I meet with say, who are 65 and 73, what do they say today? Man, I wish I had met you when I
was in my 20s,
in my 30s,
and even 40s. You think about it right now.
I had started
that 20-year difference, even if you're in your 40s or even 50s. These things are still important because it's still time to do so. No matter what age you're at right now, and you're listening to us, there's still things that you can do to make sure that you take advantage under this bill. This law was written in order that we can hopefully lock some things in, do some things, do some planning, do some things for our future selves that we talked about, to make sure that we're secured and we're building that wealth and building that legacy.
Here's the most important thing. I was interviewing someone who was talking about voting.
Okay.
And when we vote, we're not voting for ourselves.
We're not.
We're voting for the future.
It's the law of representation, right?
Yeah. This bill, the changes in this bill is going to affect the 20 and 30-year-olds tremendously.
It is.
Tremendous. Those permanent tax code changes are going to affect us in the future in such a big way. And before I get to some of the other benefits that we can take advantage of now, I just want to reiterate how important it is, because money has this thing called an intrinsic value. Write that down. Intrinsic.
Yes.
Intrinsic value. Money has it has time value that's built in. And so why does this make sense? Why is this important to me? If you're in your 20s, if you're in your 30s, you're in your 40s, 50s, money has time value. There's just something you can't make up for planning, learning, even if you don't know everything. That's where an advisor comes in and is a benefit for you,
to help you along the way.
Because I see people all the time, they have all this, they've done all this research. They Google this and Google that, and they're like, well, what about this? Or what about this? Or what you heard of so and so? They'll say other financial advisors, and the person isn't even their advisor. They're like, so and so. Yeah, I know them. Do you?
Right.
And I'm like, okay. It doesn't matter who you work with. Work with somebody.
Right.
Work with somebody so that all that information that you're gathering starts to make sense for you. You can start putting things in place, in the proper place of where it goes. And by place, I mean things you should do today.
Right. Things
you need to do in the next 10 years, and things you need to prepare for the next 30 years.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And if we don't plan, and I say this all the time, we plan to fail. And we plan to fail
oh my goodness.
in accomplishing our goals, our objectives, our dreams for not just ourselves, but our family and the future.
Yeah. So back to my friend who called me the other day.
Okay.
And I was just like, saying in my mind, and I know when they watch this show, they're going to know I'm talking about it. I was just saying in my mind, well, why you ain't call me then? Why wasn't I top of mind?
Why wasn't I considered first, right?
Yeah, So I don't know. But, yeah. So I had to say, well, yeah, kind of not a whole lot you can do today, I made sure to say. But I just want to give you this bit of information. Rule of thumb is that if you ever leave a company, you take those funds and you take it with you.
You take it with you.
You take it with you and you move them into your own account, not into a new company's account, because unless you're an owner in the account making decisions on what's in the 401k, if there's ever a blackout period,
right.
If they're matching in company stock, you can't even have control if they match you in company stock.
You have no control.
Or if there's vesting, right? Mm-hmm. Vesting says that even though we match you, you got to be here at least 5 years to get 100%, of the match.
Exactly.
Or what have you.
Exactly.
So I just want to point out, you can also, over these next 4 years, before we go, I just want to say that it can help you with like tax loss harvesting. That's one of the strategies that we could do. That means that if we could take some capital gains off the table throughout before the end of the year, so that even if you have a higher deduction, you could just take those capital gains off and reinvest them somewhere else, or you can realize some losses so that you can put yourself in a more ideal tax position. So a number of things that we can do based on this bill. I'm not going to call it beautiful.
We're going to say bill, right?
Is it a blessing? Is it a burden?
Right.
I think that it depends on how much you educate yourself.
Yes, and I think that education is going to be the key. That's going to be the key to all of this, is to make sure that you understand and prepare with this bill, because there are some benefits.
Yeah.
With this bill, if you take advantage of it and do the things that you need to do to educate yourselves and make intelligent decisions. So we hope that we've given you some information that you can make some intelligent decisions under this bill to make sure that it benefits you in the long term, not just now, but in the long term.
Yeah. So if I were to give you an example, I have this couple, and they're both 66 years old.
Okay.
And they got about $500,000 in their 401ks.
Okay.
Right. And they will be filing for Social Security. When they file for Social Security, at their full retirement age, they'll have about $40,000 a year.
Okay.
Jointly with Social Security. And so I thought about it as I look at doing the planning for them. We looked at if they don't convert the RMDs, it could push them into a tax bracket by the time they're at 73, that $500,000.
Okay.
Leaving, when they're taking the money out, the majority of it's going to be taxable. It's all going to be taxable. And then if they, by the time they start and it's investing, it's growing, and let's say they did have something they were going to leave to their heirs, the distribution was going to be a taxable distribution,
at that time, because they'll have to take it out at that moment is taxable.
Yeah.
At that time, when they could put it in something where it would not be taxable at that moment.
That's right. So just another thing to consider when we're looking at, we look at all the options based on their family situation, based on the income that they need.
Right.
You want to make the plan work for yourself. So that work for you, and you want to customize it based on where you are. So I think that's the benefit of planning, but this is an opportunity for us to take a deeper dive and to look at the situation. Yeah.
Yes, we could definitely look at it and just make sure that we are, giving the best possible perspective on it.
Yeah.
And insight. So we hope that you've gained some insight through our discussion on the bill. We're not going to call it beautiful. We have the jury's still out on that, right?
No, I'm not going to call it beautiful, because I know sometimes that's something that they use as projection. It's used as projection sometimes to paint something in a good light when it's not necessarily good.
It's not good for everyone, but we're going to help to make it, so maybe we can help to bring some insight to make it where it's beautiful for some people.
Yeah.
Let's hope we can do that.
There are some folks who are not gonna do so well. Not gonna do so well. But this is for this portion for retirement planning, for folks who could possibly benefit from a Roth conversion. Convert during this 4-year window, putting some money in a tax deferred and a tax free income status. Hey, it might be beautiful for you.
Yes. It may be beautiful.
It might be beautiful.
Right.
So we don't want to leave money on the table. Here's an opportunity. So I say this is a countdown to 2028. We want to make sure that we because that senior bonus disappears in 2028 too.
Yes.
That's
and
$6,000.
making sure that you take advantage of that if you are over is it 65?
65, but you know somebody. If you're not 65, your mother, your aunt,
my
you know
mama,
somebody,
yes,
your neighbor,
yes.
the lady at the church,
Yes.
somebody. You know somebody who could benefit from this knowledge, this information. I mean, the deduction is going to be automatic anyway,
Right.
but just a
just so they'll be able to know.
Yeah.
And to better prepare as well.
Yeah. So if you're serious about using this 4-year planning, this retirement window, we call this the retirement readiness
Yes.
prep process or assessment that we do. If you are looking for a retirement, let me look at the camera. If you're looking, where's the camera? If you're looking for a retirement readiness assessment, you can contact our office, and I'll put the link in the chat. I'll put the link in the description, so you can contact us and see if this is a good thing for you.
Yes, and then if you need to make sure that you update your estate plan through all of this and making sure that we connect and making sure that all your documents are in place, in order, and they are mirroring and companion with what Erica has set up for you, you contact Attorney Urenia Ricks-Johnson.
Yes, we'll put the links in the show. In the description today, because we want to make sure that you get access whatever we're talking about right on that day. So don't keep it to yourself. Tell your mama, tell your auntie, tell your neighbor.
Yes,
because they probably have an IRA that they could probably benefit from a Roth conversion.
And they could. They could. So we want to make sure that we provide that information. So we hope that you've gained the knowledge that you need to know about your IRA and what the differences are and what advantage you could take. The advantages you could take part in under this bill.
Yeah, you said it best. So great. Well, this is going to wrap up this show.
Yes.
We'll be back soon. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Trust Issues with Erica
and Urenia.
All right. See you later.
See you later.